Section 1.7, an introduction to perimeter, circumference, and area. Some formulas for perimeter and area for a square. Perimeter is the sum of the four sides, or 4 times s. And the area is side times side, or side squared. For a rectangle, the perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, and the area is length times width. For a triangle, the perimeter is the sum of the 3 sides, and the area is 1/2 the length of the base times the height. For a circle, the circumference of the circle is 2 pi times the radius, and the area of the circle is pi times the radius squared. So for example, find the perimeter and area of a rectangle of length 4.5 meters and width 0.5 meters. Perimeter is simply 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, which is 10 meters. The area is length times width, which is 2.25 square meters. Determine the perimeter and area of the figure. So once again, perimeter 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. That's 36 in this case. Area is length times width, 78.75. Example, a road sign consists of a pole with a circular sign on top. The top of the circle is 10 feet high from the ground, and the bottom of the circle is 8 feet high from the ground. Find the diameter, radius, circumference, and area of the circle. Use 3.14 as a decimal approximation for pi. So you can pause this presentation and try this problem, then resume the presentation to check your answer. You should begin by sketching the figure. So here's the sign. The direction said that the top of the sign, 10 feet high, and the bottom of the sign, 8 feet high. Top of the sign, 10 feet, bottom of the sign, 8 feet. That allows me to determine the diameter. And the radius. Diameter is 10 minus 8, and radius is half the diameter. Once I know the radius, I can calculate the circumference as 2 pi r. And the area as pi r squared. Circumference as 2 pi r, and area as pi r squared. Determine the circumference and area of the circle. Once again, if I'm given the radius, I just need to substitute that value into the formula. For circumference, in this case, it'll be 2 pi times 7. For the area, it'll be pi times 7 squared. Circumference is 44 units, area 153.9 square units. Find the area and perimeter of the triangle defined by those 3 points. You should begin by plotting the points in a coordinate plane. Sketch the triangle. You can pause this presentation and then resume the presentation to check your answer. So for the area, once I have the points sketched, if I consider this segment HK to be the length of the base, I can actually count the units to determine that length since they lie along the same vertical line, points H and K. So my base would be 6 units based on that distance. If that is the base of the triangle, then the height would be the distance from this vertex J down to that base. So that's the length of this horizontal segment. Once again, because these 2 points lie along the same horizontal line, I can actually count the units to determine that length as 5. And half of 6 times 5 comes out to be 15 square units, 1/2 base times height. The area is 15 square units. To determine the perimeter, I need not only the distance or the length of this vertical line, but these two segments, HJ and JK, which are neither horizontal nor vertical. In order to calculate their lengths, I'll need to use the distance formula. So here you see an application of the distance formula to find the distance from point J to point K. That's this calculation. That comes out to be the square root of 34. Then I use the distance formula to calculate the distance from point H to point J. That's here. That also comes out to be the square root of 34. Now the perimeter will be the sum of the three distances. In the previous part of the problem, we calculated HK, that distance, as 6, and then plus root 34 for JK, and plus root 34 for HJ. I add those, and I get 6 plus root 34 plus root 34, or 6 plus 2 root 34. Find the area of the triangle. Once again, area of the triangle is 1/2 base times height. So half of, in this case, once I plot the points, I can see the base here, that distance is 4. And then the height from the third vertex down to the base, that height is 3. 1/2 of 4 times 3 is 6 square units for the area of the triangle. By plotting the points, I am able to calculate the area of the triangle more easily.